Starting again. We've logged in and I've selected a club. So there's a few things that need to be set up for the club before we actually start talking about invoicing. In the club area, down the bottom of this first screen, there is the club ABN and then the membership year ending date for the club. So basically this is the date that the membership year ends. So probably technically this should probably be 30 June. If we're running a financial year, some clubs do, some clubs don't. So that's sort of, whatever year that they run, they need to set that first and obviously enter their ABN. Next is to set up your fee packages. So is everyone familiar with that? Do you want me to run through that, Aaron?
Yeah, I think if you just quickly run through it, because I'll probably send this video to some clubs. Okay.
So you need to ensure that you have a membership package. That membership package has and this is all mandatory anyway, but it has a billing cycle set on it. This billing cycle is tied to that year ending date that we talked about, that I showed you just earlier. So if it's a billing cycle of 1 year, it'll be 1 year from 30 June. If it's 6 months, it'll be 6 months from 30 June. You'll get 2 in the year, et cetera, et cetera. So that needs to be set, and the various charges for that fee package need to be set within the package as well. So once the package is set up, then back in the membership section, against each member that we have, we need to ensure that a fee package is set up for that member. So in this case, the example here, we've got 2 membership packages set to them. And you'll see for this particular person, the next bill date for them is the 1st of August because it was a monthly one. And that's because I originally had it set as the 1st of July. So once we've done that for all of our members, we can go back to the finance section. Once we've done that for all of our members, we go back to the membership list.
Just before you go on, Robert, is there a way to do a lot of members at once, or do you need to do them individually?
You can, no, you need to do them individually, but each membership, you only need to do it once, but each club, when they were set up, the data that we were given, we would have added them to a blank membership package, all the members to one membership package. So my recommendation would be to go in and let's say that, I don't know, half of your members are full members or whatever you might call them, set that package to be your full members and go in and modify the rest of the package, modify the rest of the members. So you can see a count of your members under the fees, fee packages. You'll actually see here a list of all the members. So this would have been the default package that we set up for this particular club when we did the demo import, and it had the 67 members. So you can see that, and you can click on those to see. That'll take you back to a list of the members that have that fee package associated with them. So just going back to the full list of members now, I can click this to select all the members, and I can press the create invoice date. When I can press the create invoice button. When I click that button, it'll give me a screen and it'll say, do you want to bulk create those invoices? I say, okay. What that will do, and you'll see here, it's going off and creating invoices that it needs to for the various members. Some it will create, some it won't. So the green ones are successful, the red ones aren't. And that can be to do with that member didn't have a package associated with them, or it could be to do with that they're not, they're not in the right cycle for the membership to create the invoice. So then I can go back into the finance area, and all those invoices that I just created, and I've got a lot in here. So I'm just going to show you. So this is the 1st of June. So I can see this invoice here. So I'm in the draft section now. I can review this invoice and see all of the fees that have been associated for this member. Now, with this invoice here, you'll see there's a double up of all the content. This is because this will be a monthly invoice, and I wouldn't have created it in the last. I wouldn't have run this in the last monthly run. Does that make sense? So it's running it twice for me now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So once I've done all of that, basically you shouldn't have any draft invoices in your live system unless you're going through this process. I can review all the invoices, and then when I'm happy with that, I can select all and press approve. That will then, I need to set an issue date and a due date. So let's say the issue date was the 1st of June, the due date, let's give them 30 days. So we'll say 30th of June, apply that. That will go and then move all of those invoices from the draft into the approved section, which is now done. Again, if I order this way, it'll show me all the invoices that I've just created. Now, I can then select all those invoices and I can send them to the members. So I won't do this now. It'll just, the beta system doesn't send any emails. So if I was to click send, it will send all of these people the invoices as an email. Now, they must be in their member profile as well. I missed this when we were looking at it earlier. There's a setting in here. Where is it? Here it is. Receive invoices by mail or email. So for the email to be sent, that must be checked to email. So the person's received an email. On there, they'll have a link and they can pay it directly. Alternatively, if they log in as a member, now I'm not sure whether you want to jump in here, Kelvin, but they can go to their account, and if it was active, they'd be able to click this. We don't have it active here. They'd be able to see all their outstanding invoices and click the pay button. So this is the one that I just generated for myself before.
Well, they won't have a link to pay it.
No.
At the moment.
Unless they've contacted. Oh no, it's turned off for everyone, isn't it?
No, it's turned off for everyone. And even if, so I'll go this way and say just about every club that's using it at the moment doesn't want to take payments online anyway. The clubs in WA that have used it seem to be quite happy for this to replace their piece of paper that's stuck on a bar fridge that they use to tick off who's paid, which is fine. Some of the clubs over here in Victoria print the invoices and then send it out with an accompanying letter to everyone, or they pick those up from the club that give them instructions on how to do payments via BSB or however. And then the club has to come in and manually mark those invoices as paid.
Yeah, so to manually mark an invoice, I come in and click the actions button. I click enter payment, and as an administrator, I can select. There's more options in the live system: direct deposit, cash check, etc. And then I can select the amount. And when I click pay, this invoice will now not be outstanding. It goes to a paid state.
So for people that don't have emails or prefer to receive it by mail, how would the club print one out?
They can come in here and download and print the invoice.
Yep. And is there any way to customize the invoice had a club ask about putting a logo on it.
We will do that. It's coming. So we've just introduced for the competition portal logos for clubs in the last release, and when we get a little bit of time, we'll go back and put that into the invoice. So customization, no, but adding your own data and your logo, yes.
Okay.
And
So-
the download is one at a time, is it?
Yeah. We also do have the option to create a custom invoice as well if someone wants to create an invoice for whatever reason for a member, they can do that. So they just add a line, you know, t-shirt or whatever it might be. They can select, you know, merchandise, and it's $25. They can approve that. Again, apply, and then they could send that to the member if they want to.
Okay. So what club information appears on the invoice? The ABN?
Let me
Club
download and show you. So it's basically this bar up the top here. Name, address, ABN, phone number, and then the rest information is, is all standard, whatever's been put in. So when we do the logo, we'll just drop the logo in next to the name or above the name or whatever wherever it ends up going.
Okay. And that payment due by, can they set that period?
Yeah, so that was set, you know, when we created the invoice.
Oh, yeah.
And we set the this due date.
Yep.
So if I do another one, just to show you. When I approve this, it gives me the ability to set the issue date and the due date.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else I've missed, Kelvin?
I don't think so. I think the only thing to be aware of, I think, is that you can only invoice 30 days from that due date. Otherwise, it won't produce those invoices.
Yep.
So the year ending date, if that's the 30th of June, you can't start invoicing in May. You can't do bulk invoicing in May, is what I should say. You have to wait until it hits June and then you hit your bulk invoice.
Yeah.
Because the system won't allow you to do it.
It only works 30 days in advance. That's right.
Yeah, that could be important for clubs.
And primarily, the reason behind that is because we have monthly billing built in there.
Okay.
Any questions?
Is there a current manual that has this, Kelvin?
Yeah, the help files all go by the still original invoicing ones, so they should still be up to date because invoicing hasn't changed.
Yeah, there's
Ultimately,
been no
since we did it.
changes.
In terms of discerning between the people that are going to have received the email and the people that are not going to have done that, and then basically going through and finding those people, it's a matter of going through and finding them one by one, basically, is it?
Under finances, when you go to the invoices, Robert, I believe there's a flag that shows whether or not it's been sent. So there's a red flag and sent there.
I think what Clive's asking is, do these people do you know if this person is an email or a physical mail? Is that what you're saying, Clive?
Essentially, I mean, if that dot tells me, if that says that it's been sent and that verifies that it is an email invoice.
Yeah, yes, yeah, no, that will. So if you click here and then do the send, that will turn green unless it's a mail recipient, like a snail mail.
Okay, so that then tells you the ones that you've got to download and print.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, yeah, and whether that's in our exports. I can't remember. I was just, yeah. You can then do an order by that sent, and then and it'll group them together, and you can download them.
Kelvin, is there anything that clubs struggle with in this that we should be aware of?
Biggest one that we get is they all want to put their BSB and account number on it for payment purposes, which we can't really do at the moment. There's no space for it. Some clubs have experimented with putting together $0 fee packages that have the BSB and account number in it as a package, and then adding that to the invoice so that it appears. There were difficulties with that because it showed out of order on the invoice, like not in the. They had a few issues with the ordering of the lines, so it didn't make a lot of sense when they did it. But that's the biggest one that we have is the BSB. But allowing them to do that also takes. If you think about it in the bigger picture, we would prefer that they issued invoices online and took payments online. Because it's far less, because if someone makes payment online, that status changes from outstanding to paid straight away. So that then all the club has to do really is come in and monitor who's paying and who's not paying. The issue with that is that if we have, say, even 1,000, well, let's say 40% adopt it across the country, so you're looking at 700 clubs. It's a lot of work for our poor little finance department, who are objecting to that sort of load at the moment, but we're getting there with them and we're opening things up slowly.
Okay.
So I would expect probably this time next year, we would be able to open that up to online payments as well. The biggest problem finance have is that when they run a report, they'll get a club name saying that they've taken payments, and we won't have financial details for them, and we haven't entered into an agreement with the club to say, well, yes, you're going to take that 1.96% loss on whatever you're invoicing for, and we're going to return the money to you on the monthly basis that we do the returns at the moment.
Okay.
So there's sort of a couple of issues there, but the biggest one will be BSB stuff.
Yep. So do clubs find this advantageous to them at the moment to be able to do it through this? I suppose clubs that don't have a good invoicing system would.
Clubs that don't have an accounting system and do stuff, on a sheet behind the bar, then I would say they probably do find this quite advantageous. We've got some reasonable sized clubs doing it over here. Like I think Doncaster's doing it in Victoria. City of Echuca did it. They've got a couple of hundred members. And they weren't using MyOb or Xero or anything to do their books. They just were doing it all out of a handwritten receipt book. So for them, being able to print it and give it to their members was massive.
Okay. I suppose with the downloading and printing, if they had some type of A4 page set up, they may be able to include some additional details on it.
Yeah, well, if they're sending it with a letter or something, they could.
Yeah. All right. I think I've
Or
run out
even
of questions.
even a sticker. Some clubs I've seen on invoices, you can put a sticker on it to put the BSB number and stuff like that on it.
Yeah.